same tympanum, but below it is gathered a group of tribal leaders, including the then Chairman of the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs, who's at the podium, Senator Daniel Akaka, who was part Native Hawaiian. And so it's 200 years on in the American adventure, 100 years after the Capitol was built, 150 years. Tribes have endured, and they stand up as living beings against these stone images. But the stone images are also not only part of our national architecture, they are part of the mental architecture of this country and of the structure of this country. And so I just want to show you that overlay because it's right here. And the last thing I'll close with is if you look at the Capitol building, and I promised others I wouldn't burn the time, but this is it. There is a statue on top of the U.S. Capitol. It faces eastward. It is I think it's called the Statue of Freedom. And it's a woman in a toga robe, kind of like the Statue of Liberty. Originally, the statue was to have on as headgear a freed Roman slave's cap. But when the Capitol was being built, Jefferson Davis, who became the President of the Confederacy, objected to a freed Roman slave's cap being put on this statue. This is in the 1840s, 1850s, right before the Civil War. And so instead, the architect replaced it with an Indian and eagle feather headdress, symbolic, I think, of the native culture. It went from one oppressed minority to another to illustrate them, and that is literally the highest architectural point, the highest point in the city. Way up there, hardly ever seen, but also part of the architecture of America. So with that, I will turn this over. Thank you.
Good afternoon again, everyone. Thank you for coming to the program this afternoon. I hope it's beneficial for you. I'm going to say from the beginning that my first degree, my bachelor's degree, was in communications, and as a newspaper reporter, you're taught to give both sides of the story. And then as going into teaching after that, you're supposed to give both sides of the story. I'm going to back away from that a little bit today. You'll probably figure that out if I didn't tell you. Because on this particular issue, I have a particular opinion. And my wife, were she here, would be saying, don't preach. All right, thesis statement. I believe it is, and I hope you agree, the ultimate mission of school is to educate. Is that correct? To educate our students, to help them become good citizens. Okay? And a related goal to that is that a school should be a safe place. Would you agree with that? Physically as well as emotionally and psychologically. And therefore, schools should not be using mascots that are of an Indian nature. Now, Greg speaking about the football team here, well, obviously, as you might imagine, I think that's a disastrous racist name. But I want to concentrate on schools because to me that's even more important. We're supposed to educate the kids, and we're supposed to take care of them in a safe manner, and using Indian mascots does neither one of those. Give you a few comments because I don't want you to think this is my opinion and mine alone. The U.S. Department of Education just last year, the White House Initiative on American Indian and Alaska Native Education, gave this final report. I'm just briefly going to mention it to you, but you can certainly get it online, obviously. And they said that stereotypical imagery and symbolism harms all students, especially those who have the heritage, but all students.